Well, good morning, folks. It's Richard Gene, the fishing machine here. Beautiful morning here in the Tennessee Valley. A little hot, a little muggy. Well, that's because it's summertime. In my opinion, it is summertime. And today, well, we're going to be doing a little bit of kayak fishing. And right here behind me is a new kayak that I bought, and I'm eager to go try it out. Here in this area, there's a lot of places that I could use a kayak and have a lot of fun. Some places are inaccessible unless you have a kayak, and it's fantastic fishing. So I went ahead and I got another one right here. Let me show you this kayak. Y'all probably already recognize it, especially those who fishes a lot out of kayaks. The Catch 110 HD hydro drive. What is that? High drive system. Okay. Anyway, it has right here some pedals in it, and of course I bought a short paddle down there and a long paddle, and I bought some accessories right here for it. But we are going to go fishing today. I'm not going to not go fishing. I love the sport. And what we're going to do, well, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Whoa. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Whoa! The hotter it gets, the worse I get. Instead of toning down, I get more amped up, I guess, because my blood pressure rises. I do not know. Alright, folks, let's get into it. This is what I've been catching a lot of fish on. Made by Yamamoto baits. Made in the USA now. They're still loaded with salt. Loaded with salt. And this is the 5-inch Yamaseiko. Black with blue fleck, and you can see it's a real dark bait. I've been catching a lot of big fish. I mean big fish on this bait right here. Now it's got salt in it, so it sinks very quickly. And when you rig this bait like I'm fixing to show you, you don't need any weight at all. If you're fishing in water anywhere between a couple feet down to about 6, because it's loaded with salt, this bait right here will sink very quickly. And as it's sinking, when you make a cast, leave slack in your line and watch your line as this bait is sinking, because a lot of the bites, 75% of the bites that you're going to get, maybe a little less than that, will happen after the initial cast and as the bait is sinking. When it sinks, it just sinks flat like this, and it wiggles down just like this, just boom, 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 boom. Very enticing to a bass. So let me show you what size hook I use. Alright, to keep this bait flat so it'll sink flat, I don't use no hook any bigger than a 3/0, and that's the hook that I use. That's a EWG Gamakatsu hook. 58413 is the number on that hook. That's the one that I go to when it comes to throwing a Senko. So let's rig one up. I'm going to be using today 12-pound test P-line, which is a strong monofilament line. I need that strength because I'm on some pretty good fish right now. Now, I'm going to show you how to rig this bait and to rig it properly, in my opinion. Okay, this is the head of it. What you want to do is find the seam, go into the worm about anywhere from 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, and follow that seam. Come out right there. I'm working with the seam, and I'm working with it as a center line. Pull it back through. Gauge it like that. So the back side of this hook, you can see where the entry point is, and I'm working with the seam again. When you come through that worm, come through square. When you find that seam, which is right there, come through straight up like that. That gives you the proper exposure to get that hook into that fish's mouth. Once you do that, come back like that. See how straight it is? And skin hook that point. Now that's called a Texposed Texas rig deal right there. And it'll come through cover without getting hung up grass or tree branches or anything like that. Okay. Main thing in a rod is it's got to be very lightweight. And in this case, I like a medium action rod when I'm fishing this way. Medium action. In other words, I want a backbone. I want some backbone. And I want enough flex, if y'all can see. See the flex right there. In the tip, where on the back cast I can get a long cast. Because oftentimes you need a long cast. Sometimes you don't. But what I have right here is a 2000 size Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shop reel, which is nothing more than just a Daiwa reel. That's all it is. And I have 3 of these, and I've used this reel one time, and I've already caught some big, giant largemouth with a trick worm not long ago. And my favorite connection, which is right here, that's a double uni knot. And I've actually got a uni knot here on this hook. So we're going to uni knot today. Uni knots are really strong. A uni knot is not as strong of a connection as a Palomar, but it is close. Very, very close. We've done enough talking. Let's get this kayak in the water and see what it'll do. It's a little bit windy. Maybe the wind will die down. And maybe a little bit later I'll need to overcast over. That'll make the bite better. Okay, let's quit talking about it. Let's go fishing. Woo! Woo! There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. Bursel's wife listened to Mama Sue. And she's now putting Beano in Bursel's beans. That way she don't have to suffer. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go down through here and fish the bank right now. These big female fish has just come off a bed. And the water is high. We've had a lot of rain. Now these big fish has just come off a bed, big females. So what we're going to do is fish real slow in that shallower water. Okay, I'm just going to barely move it. Now there's some grass right here on out in here. That's a good deal. I expect those fish is going to be right up on the bank or right at the edge of the grass line where the grass quits, stops, right on the break line. So that's what we're going to focus on. This bait right here that we're using, let me say this, is a very, very effective bait for big bass, especially this time of the year. When they get off bed, I've caught some of the biggest bass I've ever caught, folks. Has been with this bait right here. This one and a trick worm. One of the things I really love to do, folks, if I know that the bank is pretty deep, like this one right here, is I love to make parallel casts. I catch far more fish by doing that. Just making a parallel cast like that, letting it hit the bottom, and when it does, just work it right along the bank. What it is, that's a high percentage because you may be fishing for several fish that's right on that drop. It's just a high percentage way of fishing. And another thing right here we got going for us, even though it's overcast, we got some shade right here in front of us, which is always good for big fish. Golly. There's a pretty good fish right here, folks. That fish hit right on the end of a cast. Long cast. Now, I was talking about braid, how important it is to have it on if you're having to make long casts. Well, that was a prime example. Mono, on a cast that far, there'd been way too much stretch in it to get that kind of a hook set. But that fish was right on the end of a cast. That bait was falling. This is a pretty good one right here. This ain't a bad one at all. I knew this would happen sooner or later. Tell you, these fish is fun. In a kayak, this fish is actually pulling me. He's pulling me. Watch him, he's fixing to come up. Good bass right here. Golly. My goodness. He ain't quit yet. He may be a little bigger than what I thought. I believe he is a little bigger than what I thought. But I caught him right off the side of this point. These points is paying off today. Golly. Yeah, this is a big old bass right here. He's quite a bit bigger than what I thought he was. Come on in here. Golly. Look at there, what a fish. Boy. He's about 1.5 pounds bigger than what I thought he was. Look at there. That's a good bass right there. Good bass. Let's let him go. Come on back, boy. That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But yep, that worm is shot. I've caught 4 fish off of that worm. I caught 2 by rigging it on one side, flipping it over, and I caught 2 more. So that's 4 fish off of one bait. That ain't too bad. And I'm a big fan of dark colors in overcast conditions. This one is called black with blue fleck. That's what it's called. So it's actually black with some blue fleck. And you know, black and blue has always been 2 good colors when it comes to bass fishing. I mean, those colors has always worked, and they always will. I wished I could have showed that fish to you a little bit better. But I'm in this kayak, and I'm going to have to get rigged up for that. We got some grass out here that appears to be growing about 5 feet deep. Then all of a sudden I lose contact with it. That's the best that I can come up with. I don't have a depth finder, but I feel like about 5 feet, and then I lose contact with the grass. So I'm just going to go down through here and fish this grass line with this bait. This is a perfect bait for that. The salt that's in a Senko causes it to sink very, very quick, or relatively quick. And with a 3/0 hook in it, and that's as big as I'm going to use, it stays level. Just like I was talking about the other day, a 2/0 keeps a trick worm level as it falls. Well, a 3/0 keeps this bait level as it falls, and that gives it that perfect little shimmy as it's falling down. So a lot of the strikes that you get, if that bass sees it falling on the initial cast, you'll get a lot of your bites happen then. Probably 65 to 70%. There he is. Golly. we got a big one right here. I didn't get a good hook set on that fish, folks. Oh, me. I mean, this is a good one right here. He hit it and went the other way. Golly. My. Look here, what a bass. Well, he broke my rod. Sure did. Dead-gone it. That fish broke my rod tilt. That's how strong that fish was, folks. Broke my dead-gone rod. Look at there. Well, folks, that's an absolute shame. I've got another rod in my truck. I only brought one rod with me. Now, that's the first rod that I've broken in a long time. That fish broke that rod. And hope y'all can see him pretty good there. He's not really that big a fish, probably about, I don't know, he might be 3.5, 4 pounds, but still that fish was doing some pulling. Let's let him go, and I'm going to have to go all the way back to the truck to get another rod. I can't quit now. That's 2 good fish I've caught. Just let him go right there. Golly, he broke my rod. That's my fault. Not a big deal. It's not too far from where we put in good exercise, but I don't know why in the world I didn't bring another rod. You should at least bring 2 with you out here in case something like that happens. But it's been a long time since a rod broke. That rod right there evidently had a ding in it. You know, a lot of times when you buy them, especially from Walmart, and I'm not knocking Walmart, you could buy them from anywhere. Somebody might drop them, or somebody might be checking the tip and hit the side of something that's kind of, you know, and it don't take much. These little thin rods this day and time, it don't take much, and you can pop it, but that rod shouldn't have never popped like that. Shouldn't have. But let's go get us another rod. We'll come back out here. Now, Bursel or Barabbas and old man Ricky would never go through this kind of effort. And that's why they don't catch big bass. Let's catch another. Folks, you know, I'm going to do this right here. Let's do this right here. I'm just going to cut this off right here. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And I'm going to keep fishing. I'm not going to go all the way back up to the truck. I should have knew better than that. And I'm going to fish with this nubbin right here. Oh my goodness, there's no feel or nothing to it. It's just a nubbin. And we're just going to keep fishing right here with this. That's a long ways to go just for that. Hey man, whoa. I am fishing with a little old short nubbin. Let's see how it don't cast too good, but it's just a nubbin, folks. But I mean, that's going to be a long ways for me to go just for that. I should, hey, look here. Look. Golly. I got to buy it right there. No. I can make them buy it no matter what. It's just setting the hook with this. We'll see what happens right here. Sometimes you got to do, I mean, when I was a kid, I'd make do with whatever. We had to. If you broke a rod, you just kept fishing with it. I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, a lot of times all I had was one rod. Yep. Well, Well, oh, daggone it, hung up this deadline darn tree right here. Oh, it's hard to judge using this nubbin like this. My cast. Look at that. It's hung up in that. Looks like it turned loose. Looks like it turned loose. But it ain't gonna do it. Oh, they come here. Let me. If it ain't one thing, it's two. I hope there ain't no hornet's nest up in here or something. Boy, them old Red River walls, folks. I've done this before right here and get right in amongst them. And you talking about tearing you up. Now they'll tear you a new one and quick. Let's try not to do that again. Golly, that thing's tough. Old tree. There he is, folks. Golly, what a bass. What a bass. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on, hold him, nubbin. That's a big bass right here. Golly. That fish hit right beside the boat too. Let's see if we can get on. Let's see if we can get on out here a little bit. Yeah, having a time, folks. Yeah, having a big time. Golly, look here, what a fish. Yep, make do with what you have, because oftentimes what you have is good enough. That's a big son of a gun right there. Yep. And that's what we had to do. I'm not just saying that. When I was a kid, I made do with what I had. That's a good fish right there. That's what it's about, too. Yes, sir. Big fish right there. Okay. Well, we're not at a disadvantage. Not at all. Let's get our pliers so we can get him undone. That was a heck of a battle. That was a weird battle. I'll have to catch several fish before I'll get used to that. On this rod. But, goodness. My guy had him hooked perfect right in the roof of the mouth. There ain't no way that fish is going to come unbuttoned. But we'll turn around here and look at this pretty fish. Big, old large jaw. My. Golly, that fish ain't real skinny either. Not real fat, but ain't real skinny. Look there, what a bass, folks. Golly, boom, let's let her go. Go on back, gal. There she goes. Best part of it. Yep. Old nubbin got her done in there. I'm afraid to set the hook too hard, but you know, you gotta set the hook to penetrate. I'm afraid I'll pop my line because there's no give. So I'm just kind of, I don't know, it's a weird kind of way I'm having to set the hook. Hard to explain, but too hard and you'd pop this 10-pound, this little stuff I'm using right here. But we're getting them. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make a parallel cast right there. And we'll work it right in front of this buck bush right here. Boy, that looks good too. I love to fish buck bushes. A lot of times in big fish, folks, well, a lot of them, not just sometimes, a lot of times, what I say, I get up in them buck bushes. There he is, folks. Golly. Big one. My goodness. God. Ain't this something? Good fish right here. That's right. With the nubbin. Come on, fish. Golly, another big one. I want y'all to look. They big old female. All these fish is good ones, but that last one I caught was the best one. That fish has got some beautiful colors. Let's let her go. Going back. Whew. I tell you what, folks. That fish right there demolished that bait, and I just caught one fish on it. Sometimes one is all you can catch on them too, but that's part of it. But they are good baits. I started off the first one that I used this, well, not this morning, just a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours ago, was well, I caught 4 on it. That one right there just got demolished. I'm talking about. Now that was out of a buck bush. I just made my presentation the best I could with this nubbin and let the bait fall on the free line like that. And that fish hit it. Okay. Just before it got to the bottom. It's just that simple. One of the best baits that I know of. There he is. Yeah, y'all ready? Oh, not no giant, but not too bad. Not on a cue stick. Y'all notice that if y'all notice, this rod don't bend very much. It's what you call a heavy action, and then some. I could probably catch a grouper with that. No doubt. But that's really not a bad bass at all. I mean, my goodness. It's a 2.5, a 2 3/4 pound bass right there. Let's let it go. Yeah, I get tickled at some of these. Maybe I shouldn't say it, folks. I can't help it, though. Some of these real fancy folks that wears these patches and stuff. Okay. And they'll talk about parabolic action in a rod and all this kind of stuff, and how it's important that you have a 80-20 or a 70-30 or whatever. Well, they just ain't never been on the boat with Richard Gene the Fishing Machine. Now, when I tell y'all stories about you fishing with what you had back when I was a kid, I'm not kidding about that. Now, I'm just not kidding. When it that's the way it was for some of us back then. But I'm getting tickled about that. Oh, I shouldn't be that way. But the sport of fishing has been blown out of proportion. It's more of it's about making money is what it is when it comes to certain products and stuff like that. And that's what the stickers and all that kind of stuff's about. And that's the kind of stuff that if you let it, if they're going to let it, it's going to ruin the sport of fishing. That's what it's going to do. But I get tickled a lot of times about some of this stuff. I mean, I'm catching some big bass on this deal right here. Matter of fact, I believe the biggest bass I caught today is, look here, we got another one on here. Look. Well, folks, I can't tell y'all how much I enjoyed that. It was a hot day, and you know, it just goes to show that one can adapt to just about any situation if one wants to. And fishing is about adaptation. That's a very big word. I'm not good with them, but that's the best I can do. But the thing about it is, I realize y'all understand. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for everything y'all do. I appreciate everything y'all do, folks, and all the great comments. Hey, God bless y'all. Woo. I'm talking about woo. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Hey, man, woo! And to remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good for